There are three things that we can control as human beings. Maybe there's a bit more, but like if we just simplify it down, really simplify it down to make it as easy as possible to focus on these things, it's these three things. It's our attitude, our effort, and our response. And that's exactly what we're talking about in this episode, all the things that we can control. And that's why an important principle is trying to focus solely on what you can control and letting everything else go. Trying to control the uncontrollable is a profound waste of time and energy, and it's an absolutely surefire path to anxiety and overwhelm and feeling like you can't do anything, right? It makes you feel stuck. There is a fundamental difference between worrying about a situation and actively doing something about it, right? Exerting that agency. That's what we have. That's our superpower as human beings, is that we can exert agency, even if it's only in small doses or little moments or here and there. It is key to restoring both health and hope, is focusing on the things you can control through exerting your agency, your daily choices, and your daily actions. So there is, again, a difference between worrying about a situation and actively doing something about it, right? Exerting not exerting that agency. Wow, this is like 430 podcast episodes, and I still can't speak. So bear with me. Here we go. We're going to keep rolling. Of course we are. This is the organic and authenticity of this podcast. And so we have to exert that agency. Again, three things we can control as humans: our attitude, our effort, and our response. I'll blame it on having a newborn and me being a little tired. No, I'm taking full responsibility. I'm going to get better. Here we go. Number 3 is respond, do not react. When, quote unquote, shit hits the fan, pause, gather yourself before acting. Remember, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Thank you for that insight, Viktor Frankl, right? We know that we have that power. We have the power to respond. Let's talk about things we can control: effort, attitude, response. Response is one of the most important things we have control over, but we can only do that if we pause enough and think and take a deep breath and actually make the right course of action and not just react. So we have to respond, not just react. Respond, do not react. And you can use the 4P framework from Brad Stolberg to understand this process, right? He says pause, process, plan, and then proceed. I wrote a whole newsletter about this. So if you're interested in more in-depth about the 4P framework, comment down below and I will send you that newsletter. You can use the 4P framework to pause, process, plan, and then only then should you then proceed. That's how you respond, not react. And that's very important, especially when, again, quote unquote, shit hits the fan. Patreon is the home of our exclusive community where we do bonus episodes, live streams, Q&As, and merch discounts, and so much more. Patreon is the #1 way to support this podcast and to support my mental health nonprofit called You Are Loved.